So we have one problem and two scenarios. So our first problem is we need housing. And it sounds kind of a little ridiculous to say that's a problem because it is a necessity. However, the problem is housing is something that we need, but it costs a lot of money. It's kind of like if water costs a lot of money, like why? So from a very liberal standpoint, if rent is $2,000 a month and you're there for 5 years, okay, you've given $120,000. And at the end of your lease, you are going to walk away with a rent receipt. A piece of paper that says, hey, thank you, here's your deposit back. Thank you for giving me those 6 figures the last couple years. Have a good day. So a couple of things have been going on the last couple years. So we have 2 scenarios under buying a house. So the first scenario is rates were so historically low during COVID. And I always like to tell people it is not a proper benchmark to look at rates, look at your aunt, your cousin, your best friend who got the 2.75. We have to leave those people alone. We cannot compare ourselves to others because it's not a proper benchmark. So rates were super, super, super low. With that came a crazy bidding war. Now what do they call the early adopters? The early adopters, the people who took the risk when they first dropped the rates, the people who took the risk when they first dropped the rates and said, you know what, F it, I'm going out there and I'm buying a house. They secured their house with those 2.75 rates or whatever other rates, 3.25, 2.5, my veteran people, 2.25. They were able to secure those rates and they got in. So if that's you, then F you. Because I definitely was not one of those people. And then after the very early onset of the low interest rates, then that's when everyone woke up. They started looking around their homes and they're like, oh my God, I need more space. I want a 3-car garage instead of 2, etc. Might as well go get a bigger house with probably the same mortgage payment. So then all these people, you guys know, that's when the market went bananas. So the market went crazy and that drove the prices up. And so yes, you were able to secure a nice monthly payment on your mortgage because of the low interest rate. However, people were giving their shirts off their backs. People were giving their firstborn child, people were giving their left kidney to get into a freaking house. So then the government's like, okay. And also let me add, people made the most money ever during COVID because people realized their true talents. People asked for raises. People saved money by not commuting. So people had so much more money, okay? And then, so prices were going up, people were buying, the real estate market's crazy, realtors did the best they've ever done in life, lenders did the best they've ever done in life. And then the government's like, wait a minute, whoa, hold on. They said, you guys want to raise real estate prices, we can't deliver goods on time, we can't empty these containers at the ports, the supply chain issues, etc. The government said, hold on. We're raising interest rates. Okay, 3%, 4%, 5%, 6%. Now we're like, okay, 7, 8. Okay, what is happening? So now we're in a situation where the rates are historically high to curb the inflation. But the positive of this scenario, because the rates are higher, everyone's calmed down. What happens when everyone calms down? There's less bidding wars. What happens when there's less bidding wars? You stand a chance. So now that you bought your house, guess what? Your cost picture can only get better. Versus a renter, the cost picture can only get worse. When has anyone ever heard of a landlord decreasing rent? I'll wait. Never. Which is why the benefit of a house, if your problem is you need housing and you have to pay that to someone, even the big bad bank, who likes to make so much money over 30 years on you, at least at the end of your 30 years, you see what you just earned. So think about this. Some research, guys. The institution guys, the big machines, Goldman Sachs and Zillow and whoever else are buying full-blown communities. Where's that going to leave you? Back in the renter space. What happens to renters? Renters have no control. Why? Because landlords constantly increase the rent. So if they are continuing to buy despite the rates and etc., the prices are still going to go up. They're not going up literally during COVID. However, over time, if institutions are buying our neighborhoods, also they can have control on renting them to you, they are pushing out the middle class. So then if you don't buy now, when are you going to be able to buy? If everybody else is still buying, if investors are still buying, if institutions are still buying, where is that going to leave you? For the people who are like, well, I might as well wait till 2025, 2026 to buy. No, ma'am. By then, Zillow and whoever else would have been, they bought the whole block. I think people have to understand this a little bit. The one problem is we need housing, and it's all about you have to make the decision. Are you going to pay your housing expense and interest? It's interest on both sides. So for the people who are like, oh, rent is 100% interest, your mortgage has a lot of interest in it. However, the collateral that you're going to receive at the end of it is the game changer. If you can afford to buy, that's what it should be based on. If you can afford to buy, if buying a home will make you happier, if buying a home will bring peace into your life, if buying a home will make space for your family, if buying a home is affordable to you, if the monthly payment is affordable to you, and of course if you have the cash for the down payment and the closing costs to get into the house, absolutely knock yourselves out. Because if you don't buy a house, even with the higher rates, somebody is going to buy a house. And guess what? When all the homes are bought up, somebody's going to have to rent it back to you. So you got to pick a side. So I hope this was helpful to you in making a decision on should you buy or should you not. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, share this with a friend, send it with the pigeon with a no, I don't know. I would definitely circle back with another video. So till next time.